Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So Sunderland have made their second signing of the summer, and it is none other than Corry Evans, who is actually the younger brother of Johnny Evans. It would have been very nice if he brought Johnny back with him as well, so says you might, but of course that isn't to be. But we have signed Evans, a central midfielder, holding midfielder from Blackburn, or at least on a free, should I say. His contract did run out at the end of last season. Now, he has been at Blackburn, I believe, for 8 years. 7 of those 8 years was in the Championship, one of them being in League One, where he was integral to a League One winning side. So, of course, he has that experience in League One, that 1 year, that winning year, that victorious year in League One, and he's had 7 years of Championship experience. This man is a Championship player. Now, my only real qualm with this signing, you know, there's always going to be someone who moans, I get it, but it's also someone who has been hampered by injuries. So that's the frustrating thing. You know, the two signings we have made, you know, we are very, very late in making signings, as it is already. It's currently the 15th of July. This is our second signing, and both signings are severely injury prone. Well, I say that, I think I may have actually been a little bit harsher on Pritchard in the signing video. According to some Huddersfield fans I've spoken to since, it just merely didn't work out, which would explain the lack of appearances he had for Huddersfield. He didn't actually have that many injuries whilst he was there over the course of 3 years, but he still had his injury problems nevertheless. But Evans, according to a Blackburn fan who was speaking with Roker Report, he describes him as someone who's very technically gifted. He doesn't shy away from a challenge, a very good anchor and a holder midfielder, but constantly injured. Those are the words that he said. So what's going on? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You've got the sides like Ipswich, who have recently signed Fraser yesterday, someone who I've been screaming for, which of course doesn't mean just because I want him, means that the club want him as well. Of course, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you would have thought that you might have a look at someone like that. Pigott as well, who would have seemed to be an obvious one to go for, given he was a free agent. He scored, nearly 20-odd goals last season for Wimbledon, of all teams. No disrespect to them, but, you know, nearly 20-odd goals for a team like Wimbledon. You know, it's a very, very good return. So you would think, or you would like to think, that we at least tried to go for him, but he may have just preferred Ipswich. And if we didn't go for him at all, then I think that's absolutely criminal. I don't know what the hell our team are doing at the minute. But yeah, I have seen, you know, and it's just something I want to briefly bring up. You know, for every player we are linked with, you know, for example, on Twitter, which is a prime example, for every single player we're linked with, you'll always get one or two people, one or two fans, it is a minority, but there are a good few, that will immediately take a screenshot of said player's stats in terms of appearances, goals and assists, and just screenshot it and post it about that said player and say, oh yeah, this is how good our new data approach is, you know, our database approach is. You know, I said it on Twitter yesterday, I would like to think that our team of data analysts are getting paid a little bit more, you know, to do a little bit more than simply just scroll through Wikipedia and look for some decent numbers. I'm sure the data analysts have a lot more to look at than that, i.e., you know, where on the pitch do certain players influence the most? Do they use the left foot more than the right? How much ground they've covered? Their attitude in general when we're a goal down? Do they seem to have more stamina when we're a goal down or a goal up or when we're level? There's a lot of data. You know what it's like nowadays. There's a shit ton of data out there that need to peruse through players. So I'm sure they will have done the homework. I'm not saying they haven't. Just on paper, you know, it doesn't look great when, you know, you could be a bit harsh and say you bought 2 Crocs in, which I don't think is fair, but I have seen people say it. But, you know, 2 players who have had quite a dirty injury history, if that makes sense. You know, it doesn't look great. But if you look at those players when they're not injured, they are absolutely decent quality and good quality Championship players. And the one thing that did make me feel a little bit better, again, I'm looking at Twitter, someone did post a sort of comparison to last season's midfield to this one, and I can say already that it's actually probably looks better this season. You know, Dobson has gone, 09 has come in. Now, don't get me wrong, 09 played for us last season, but 09, I'm guessing, will more than likely move into midfield this season. So let's just say, for argument's sake, 09 instead of Dobson. Instead of Power, we have Pritchard. Of course, Pritchard's maybe a bit more further forward, but he's still a midfielder. Or you could say Winchester, either way. I know he was here last season, but even so. Leadbitter, who's of course the experienced one, replaced by Evans, who arguably could be a little bit better considering he is off championship quality and has been for a very long time now. Instead of Scowen, bringing Dhannoo, again, it's not a new player, but a player that was playing within the youth squads last season. And then Maguire, you've got Embleton, an attacking midfielder. So there, you might argue one set of midfielders is better than the other, but I can absolutely confidently say that is a more younger and a more mobile midfield, which is something that we absolutely needed anyway. Do I think it's a perfect midfield? No, I don't. I still think there's better midfields in the league, and I still think it needs to be improved somewhat. I really do, but we'll have to see what happens there. But we will have a look at the statement coming from the club regarding the signing of Evans. Sunderland AFC is delighted to announce the signing of Corry Evans. The midfielder has put pen to paper on a 2-year deal at their Stadium of Light with a club option of a further year. On Northern Ireland International, Evans arrives on Wayside after an 8-year tenure with Blackburn Rovers, during which the 30-year-old made over 200 appearances. Like older brother Johnny, who enjoyed 2 successful loan spells at SAFC between 2006 and 2008, Evans was moulded within Manchester United's esteemed academy, and he was named in the senior squad for the first time in May 2009. He spent time on loan with Carlisle United and Hull City before moving to the MKM Stadium on a permanent basis in January 2011, with a move to Blackburn Rovers coming to fruition in August 2013. Evans spent 7 of his 8 seasons at Ewood Park playing Sky Bet Championship football, whilst also helping Rovers earn promotion from League One during the 27-18 campaign. Born in Belfast, Evans has earned 65 caps for his country today, including 3 at Euro 2016, as Northern Ireland reached the knockout stages of the competition. Following his move to the North East, Evans said, "I'm delighted to have joined Sunderland. I spoke to the head coach and was impressed with the way he discussed his style of play, and coming to look at the training ground convinced me that this was a great place to play football. From experience, I know that League One isn't easy to get out of. It's all about consistency and getting it right. So I'm excited to get going." Lee Johnson added, "Corry is an established international and he comes in to anchor and be the glue in our midfield. He carries out a special role and it's something that we've needed. We obviously lost a very good one in Grant Leadbitter, but we have been able to replace him with a long-standing international. He will make other players around him better, and his maturity, experience and game understanding will really set him apart." So you can see there from the statement that there's absolutely a role and a reason why we brought in Corry Evans. He is absolutely replacing almost a like-for-like Grant Leadbitter, but arguably even better. You know, you don't get 60 appearances for your country by accident. Do you know what I mean? So he is a good player. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say I know, a ton about him. I've watched him closely, but of course over the years I have seen him, and he's never looked like a particularly bad player. He's definitely not seemed out of place in the Championship whenever I have seen him myself. Like I say, from the Blackburn fans' perspective, he's technically gifted, he's strong in the challenge, but it's just injuries that have let him down. So all we can do is cross our fingers and hope that we do manage to keep him with a clean bill of health, and we'll get the best out of him. That's all we can do. And if that is the case, I think it's a very, very good signing, particularly as a free agent as well. So you would hope now, and I keep saying at the end of every transfer video, I feel like this one's come across a little bit negative. I didn't mean it to. It's just obviously the frustration is starting to set in a little bit when you do watch other sides and direct rivals really improving the squad, and we're sitting there trying to be patient, and then we're just getting the odd free agent with a really bad injury history, sort of drabbing through the door. It does get a little bit worrying, so you just hope that, like we say, it was only a week or two ago where Lee Johnson did say that there was 4 or 5 bids on the table, and he was expecting a good 2 or 3 heads to come through the door just the other week. And so you'd like to think that those have just been somewhat delayed, and we will start to get a flurry of signings coming in. I don't think our transfer business is anywhere near over. I just would have liked it personally to have been done a lot quicker than this. Not rushed, but just more, or at least hopefully, or I would have preferred it to have progressed a lot quicker, because it's so important to have your squad sort of to the best of its ability, or as similar as possible to the squad that you would want come the first game of the season, and give them a full pre-season, if that makes sense. It gives them time to gel and work together, get to know each other, and it gives Lee Johnson the opportunity to get tactics over, his philosophy over. But if you end up just piling in a load of bodies through the door, halfway through the first half of the season, then you're not screwed as such, but it just makes it a lot more difficult, and so many players play catch up. So I just hope to God we do get players to the door, and quickly, and of course of quality as well. There has been a young lad from Manchester City, a centre back, who's apparently close to joining us on a 2-year loan deal. Now he goes by the name of Callum Doyle. He's only 17 years of age, and from the only sort of quick video clip I've seen of him, he just seems like a sort of more modern ball-playing defender. But it does make me think, is he deemed to be good enough to go straight into our first team? Or maybe the first year of the 2 years of his loan deal would be maybe bedding him into the first team, and then the second year would be him being a first team player? Or would it be to go into our youth squad, which to me wouldn't make sense? Why would you bring a loan player through just for us to sort him out in the academy? Why would we waste our own resources, you know, putting all the effort in training a player rather than focusing on our own, if that makes sense? But of course, if they have plans of him being a first team player, I don't know anything about him, really. I can't say I do. So if he has been scouted as someone who can absolutely do a job in first team football in League One, then by all means, go for it. Do you know what I mean? But a 2-year loan deal, it's a strange one for a 17-year-old as well. But of course, we'll have to see. That at the minute, it's just rumours. It hasn't been clarified. It hasn't been confirmed. We'll have to see about that one. But anyway, you guys let me know in the comments down below how you feel about our transfer business so far, about the signing of Corry Evans, and the potential signing of the young lad Callum Doyle from Manchester City as well. But if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care, stay jamming.